Did you picture life after 65 as simply a continuation, maybe with more free time? Many do. But often, beneath the surface of retirement parties or new hobbies, there are subtle undercurrents, hidden shifts that can leave even the most prepared feeling slightly adrift. Today, we're exploring 5 of these quiet, often unspoken shifts that many experience after crossing the threshold of 65. These aren't necessarily about major health crises or dramatic endings, but about the nuanced ways our inner and outer worlds begin to subtly transform. Quiet recalibrations in how you see yourself, how the world interacts with you, and how the very passage of time starts to feel different in your hands. Some of these shifts might resonate deeply, things you've sensed, but perhaps haven't put into words. Others might offer a new perspective, but they all share a common thread. They shape our experience of this unique life chapter. Stay with us, because acknowledging these quiet transitions isn't about dwelling on loss. It's about finding awareness, gaining perspective, and discovering new ways to navigate with intention and grace. There's profound power in understanding these shifts, in knowing you're not navigating them alone. Let's begin. One of the first subtle shifts after 65, especially if tied to retirement or changing work roles, is a quiet recalibration of identity. For decades, what you do might have been a core part of who you are. Suddenly, that anchor shifts or disappears. You might have eagerly anticipated leaving work, but find an unexpected void or a quiet questioning. Who am I now outside of that role? It's not always a crisis. Often it's a subtle unease, a feeling of needing to redefine your purpose or contribution. The familiar structure is gone, and the freedom, while welcome, can also feel unstructured. You might observe friends confidently embracing new identities, the full-time grandparent, the avid volunteer, the traveler, while you're still quietly searching for your own new rhythm. This isn't failure. It's a natural part of a major life transition. It's the work of rediscovering passions, or perhaps finding peace in simply being rather than doing. Recognizing this internal shift allows you to be patient with yourself, to explore without pressure, and to understand that redefining identity is a journey, not a destination reached overnight. This period is less about loss and more about the potential for profound self-discovery if we allow ourselves the space for it. Around 65, many find themselves navigating the shifting sands of family roles in ways they hadn't fully anticipated. Your children, once dependent, are likely fully independent adults, perhaps with families of their own. The dynamic changes. You might transition from the primary caregiver or decision-maker to a respected elder, an advisor, or perhaps a cherished grandparent. While often joyful, this shift can also feel complex. There can be a subtle sense of your central role diminishing, or the bittersweet realization that your children need you in different, sometimes less frequent ways. Conversely, you might find yourself stepping into a caregiving role for aging parents, a demanding and emotionally taxing position. Grandparenthood, while a blessing for many, also brings its own adjustments. Finding the balance between involvement and interference, joy and exhaustion. Relationships with partners might also evolve as shared routines change post-retirement. It's a period of renegotiating connections, understanding new boundaries, and finding your place within a family structure that continues to evolve. This isn't about being pushed aside. It's about the natural, sometimes challenging, evolution of the family life cycle. Acknowledging these shifts helps in navigating them with more understanding, communication, and self-compassion. Are these shifts resonating? If you're finding value in this discussion, please comment Shift 2 below to let us know you're connecting with this And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and turning on notifications. Your support allows us to create more content like this, fostering understanding and connection. Let's continue. Something profound often happens to our perception of time around this stage of life. It's not just about having more time in retirement. It's about how time feels. The horizon might seem a little closer, bringing a different weight to the days. There can be a subtle shift from a future-focused perspective, planning careers, raising children, saving for tomorrow, to a more present-focused awareness. This can manifest in different ways. For some, there's a newfound urgency to do the things they've always wanted to, a sense that time is more precious. For others, there's a desire to slow down, to savor moments, to appreciate the simple routines previously rushed through. The concept of legacy might begin to surface more frequently. Not necessarily grand achievements, but the impact you've had, the relationships you've nurtured. You might find yourself reflecting more on the past, not with regret, but with a deeper appreciation for the journey. This altered lens on time isn't morbid. It's often a catalyst for prioritizing what truly matters, for letting go of the trivial, and for living with greater intention. Understanding this shift can help you consciously choose how you want to engage with the time you have, making it richer and more meaningful. While 80 often brings more pronounced physical realities, the years after 65 are frequently when the subtle whispers of physical change begin. It's not usually the dramatic decline, but the small, cumulative acknowledgements that your body operates differently than it did at 45 or 55. Maybe it's taking a bit longer to recover from exertion, noticing stiffness in the morning that lingers, or finding that energy levels aren't quite as consistently high. It could be needing reading glasses more often, straining to hear conversations in noisy rooms, or realizing certain physical activities require more planning or modification. These aren't necessarily limitations yet, but they are gentle reminders of the aging process. What can be unsettling is the dawning realization that these small changes are likely here to stay and may gradually increase. It requires a shift in mindset, from taking physical capability for granted to needing more conscious maintenance and care. It's easy to ignore these whispers or feel frustrated by them, but acknowledging them is the first step towards proactive adaptation. It means listening to your body more attentively, prioritizing rest, adjusting exercise, seeking preventative care, and perhaps, most importantly, practicing self-kindness instead of fighting the inevitable. This isn't about giving up. It's about wisely stewarding the physical self you have now. If this exploration of life's subtle shifts is helpful, let us know by commenting Shift 4 below. We appreciate knowing you're here, and please remember to subscribe if you haven't. It helps us share these important conversations. Let's move to our final point. Similar to the loss of visibility felt later, around 65, a different, perhaps more subtle shift can occur, feeling like your echo is fading slightly in a world that seems to be moving and changing at an ever-increasing pace. It's not necessarily about being ignored, but about a growing sense of being slightly out of sync. Technology advances rapidly, cultural references shift, workplace jargon evolves, and conversations can sometimes feel like they're happening in a slightly different language. You might find yourself less interested in chasing the latest trends, or feeling that your experiences and perspectives, forged in a different era, aren't always valued or understood by younger generations. This isn't a criticism of youth, but an observation of a natural generational dynamic that can sometimes lead to feelings of slight disconnection or even irrelevance. You might hesitate to share an opinion, wondering if it still holds weight, or feel a quiet pang when a piece of your history seems forgotten or unimportant to others. It's crucial to recognize this isn't a reflection of your actual value, but often a symptom of a fast-paced culture that prioritizes the new. The wisdom and experience you hold are immense. The challenge lies in finding ways to bridge that gap, to share your stories where they're welcomed, and to find confidence in your perspective, even if the world isn't always listening as closely as it once did. Your voice still matters profoundly, perhaps now more than ever, as a link to history and enduring human values. So we've touched upon 5 quiet shifts often experienced after 65, the recalibration of identity, the changing dynamics within families, the altered perception of time, the subtle whispers of physical change, and that feeling of a fading echo. In a rapidly evolving world, these aren't meant to paint a bleak picture, but an honest one. Because within honesty lies the power to adapt and thrive. These transitions are not signs of failure or decline. They are natural parts of a rich and complex human journey. Acknowledging them allows us to approach this chapter not with fear or denial, but with awareness, compassion for ourselves, and the wisdom to seek new sources of meaning, connection, and joy. It's about understanding that while some doors may gently close, others are opening, revealing paths to deeper self-knowledge, more authentic relationships, and a unique perspective that only comes with lived experience. What stood out most to you from these 5 shifts? Is there one that particularly resonates with your own experience, or that of someone you know? We genuinely value your perspective. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Perhaps one insight or a way you're navigating these changes. Your experience could offer comfort and encouragement to others on a similar path. Reading your comments helps build our community and reminds us we're all in this together. If you found this video meaningful, please give it a like, subscribe for more reflections on life's journey, and share it with anyone you think might benefit. Your support is deeply appreciated and helps us continue these conversations. Thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to connecting with you in the next video.